Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
All right, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Isabel Giorday, and today I'm really excited because my guest is this wonderful Marie Rodgers. And Marie helps coaches eliminate overwhelm, sales doubt, and uncertainty so that they can predictably attract high-paying clients and build a widely profitable coaching business without expensive Facebook ads or complicated technology. Marie, welcome to the show. I'm so thrilled to have you.
Hi. I'm delighted to be here.
Okay, great. So this is such an interesting and important topic, the whole thing around sales, which freaks out a lot of us. And I love your clear message because it's very positive and enticing, and it gives hope for those of us who struggle with sales. So tell me, Marie, a little bit about who you help, a little bit more about these coaches that you help.
Well, I help coaches. And I think what it comes from is I've worked in sales for over 27 years. And when I first started in sales, I, like everybody else, and there are periods since where I have struggled to sell. And when I first went into that world, I thought everyone was talking a different language. In fact, they were. And it wasn't a language that I wanted to speak. I didn't feel that it was me because it was all about getting the sale. And I just couldn't get over to that bit. And so because I'm also quite competitive, I actually did want to succeed, but I wanted to succeed in a way that I felt was me. And that's the only way I can describe it. So I actually spent the first year in the sales industry actually looking what people were doing, looking at the offer that I was, like what I was actually selling. And it was advertising at the time. And I thought it has to be done my way. So I did Frank Sinatra a little bit. And I was what I realized was very quickly, sales isn't selling. Sales is literally being able to ask really good questions and help people realize where the gaps are and what they need to do to fill it, and actually present your product or service in such a way that ensures that people get why they need to buy it, the outcome that they're making. And once I had that self-realization, my sales career took off, but in a way where people were really, I just became really easy to buy from. And people were happy with what they bought. So it was a win-win situation. And I went on then to teach that. And that's what I've done consistently over the last 27 years until last 7 years when I started my own business. And I've created actual campaigns that have produced over £28 million worth of sales from my clients. And then I came online and I did the exact same thing. So I don't teach people how to sell, because that's with your own agenda. I teach people how to be really easy to say yes to, so that sales becomes something as a result of that. And that's literally what I do. And I create campaigns, which is a little bit different as well online, because I've taken my offline world and what I do offline online, and it's kind of disrupting what everybody else is doing, but getting results a lot quicker and a lot easier from people who are kind of going, oh my God, I don't have to sell.
Yeah, that sounds, for sure. That sounds very interesting. And your results are there to prove that it works, which is always very important when someone goes online, that they actually know what they're talking about and they are actually already achieving results offline. And I love that how you've been able to take what you've done, all your expertise, and bring it to the online community. Now, what are the common problems that you help your clients with? They could be real or perceived, but what how what are the problems in the heads of your coaches?
But the number one problem is fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, fear of not delivering, fear of undercharging, fear of not knowing what you're doing. That fear then creates a situation. Well, actually, it's a bit of a chicken and an egg situation. It's like, does the fear come first, or does the confirmation bias come first? Now, I'll explain what I mean by this, because again, we all suffer from it in different areas of our life, and it's okay in some areas. But when you have a coaching business, this confirmation bias, if it relates to a fear of sales, can literally kill your business. It's too dangerous to have. So confirmation bias is where you have an opinion, and that opinion could be anything. I hate flying, or like, I don't like spiders, or I'm no good at this, or I'm no good at that. I'm no good at sales. I don't want to be a salesperson, right? So you form an opinion, okay? Out of for whatever reason, you form an opinion. Then you create beliefs around that. So I'm no good at sales. And the reason for that is that maybe your belief system is like, everybody will think I'm stupid. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be manipulative. So you create all these beliefs about it. And then what you do is you actually spend time gathering the evidence to support this opinion and this belief system that you've created. And every time you get another belief, you're like, see, told you. And what you're actually doing is you're creating all these barriers and self-limiting beliefs that are literally stopping you, selling, because everybody wants the clients. You want everybody saying, you want people saying yes to you consistently, but you've convinced yourself that you don't want to sell. Disconnect. So how do you achieve one if you can't do the other?
Right.
So that is the biggest problem that I help people get over, is that fear of sales and the fear of not turning up as themselves, because that's the most important thing, is that you always have to be you, in alignment with your values, at ease with your products, and confident about why somebody should buy from you.
For sure. That's probably the place to start before even going into offering what you're doing to someone else, for sure. But it's true that confidence can be really taken down by fears, unfortunately, and even fears that are not real. What about the fact that people don't feel comfortable? Well, they do a sale once, and then they're like, oh, okay, now it's finished. And they may not realize that what they need also is to look a little bit ahead and nurture actually their clients. This happens a lot too.
Yeah. I have 7 steps to yes. I have a client conversion system that I've taught, learned, and keep on improving over the last 27 years. And there's 7 steps, try that again, 7 steps and steps to yes. And what I find, even in some of the most professional sales teams that I go out and work with, never mind somebody who's just new to maybe, a new entrepreneur who's just started in the coaching industry, is that there's 3 steps that tend to be missing. So I'll go through the 7 steps very, very quickly, and the ones that are missing. So the first step is connect. We're pretty good at connection and, creating a connection with someone. But the second step is lead. And leading a conversation doesn't mean that it's all your own agenda. It's just guiding people to a decision. And I find that well over 90% of people don't know how to confidently lead a conversation, and it can feel awkward. And the way I say it is, if you don't lead the conversation to some point of a decision, then you follow it, and nobody buys from a follower. So how do you lead in a very authentic way? So that's second. The third way is what people are struggling with. The third step, what they're struggling with. And the fourth is where they want to be, the desired reality. and the fifth is the urgency. Is now the right time to buy? So I find that that's also something that people don't take into account, and something that you spoke about. Not everybody needs to buy from you now. A lot of my clients have had a conversation with me, and maybe the pain or the struggle isn't big enough until some point in the future. And what you've got to do is leave the door open so that when the time is right, they can come back to you and start working with you at the right time, because the right time is really important, because then they're more likely to shift and transform. So, and then after urgency, is like, do you need to do it now? Is like invite and ask. How you present your offers and do it in quite an irresistible way. But even at that point, as I said, there's three possible outcomes. There's yes, there's no, and there's not now. Okay? And all of those, the seventh step, and the one that I feel is really missing an awful lot of time, is nurturing people. So you nurture people even if they're a yes, because you want them to be happy and satisfied and potentially buy from you again. You even nurture the no's in some way, because who knows what will happen. And you let people go with grace and ease. But the last ones are the not now. The ones that aren't ready but have said something that was interest. You need to keep them close. You need to, make sure that they think of you when maybe a crisis happens, or they're just ready for a change, and they don't go elsewhere. And I find that happening an awful lot. People make offers, somebody says, oh, not now, can't afford it, whatever, and they let them go. And then what happens is 2-3 months later, they realise that they're working with another coach and didn't come back to them because they didn't nurture them. And that is literally, it's like, So I teach people how to keep all those people close, so that you can predictably attract high-paying clients, and you know exactly where those clients are coming from.
Oh, awesome. So the predictability comes also from the fact that you keep nurturing your base of potential clients, which is very important, obviously. And I totally understand that, because it's very easy to say, oh no, they didn't want my stuff, so bye-bye, and then you go and look somewhere else. You're like, oh, I don't want to speak to that person again, which is a huge mistake. Now, there are a lot of myths around sales, and are they, do you have any particularly popular myths around sales that you want to share with us today?
Oh, well, myths that I can get rid of. One of the biggest myths is that people actually, if somebody talks an awful lot, they're going to be great at sales.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. The fact is, the best salespeople are the ones who know how to listen rather than talk. And we've all had experiences where we've had buying situations where we've bought and felt it was a real, we thoroughly enjoyed it. And in most cases, that's because it's a two-way conversation where people aren't talking at you. You just feel like you're having a conversation with somebody who truly gets you. So the ability to listen is really important. But in order to be able to do that, you first of all need to be able to ask great questions. And that's really what I teach people how to do. Ask amazing questions in a really conversational way to bring out information for both sides. Because the point of self-realization is the biggest reason why somebody will buy. Not because you persuade them, it's because they actually realise themselves what's missing, and you maybe deep dive into it in a way that makes them, that they've maybe never done before, to realise the impact and the consequences of what they do or are not doing. So that's the biggest myth. The other myth is that, for some reason, people think, oh, I'm not a natural salesperson. We do not come out of the womb talking with the ability to sell. We do, and so it's like, why do people think this is some natural skill? It isn't a dark art. It is taught. It's like anything. It's like something you can learn how to not be a great salesperson, to be great at being able to sell your coaching business and the reason why your perfect prospect should buy from you. That's what you need to do. Because after all, without consistent high-paying clients, you've kind of got an expensive hobby.
Yes, that's correct. But I really like that one, because I've heard so many times people say, oh, I couldn't sell anything for the life of me. Oh, I'm not born. I wasn't born a salesperson. I can't do it. It's impossible. Just like you said, as if it was something, completely out of reach for some people and natural for others. So thanks for nailing that one down.
Yeah, and it goes back to that confirmation bias, which is, I think, the biggest thing that people are really, the biggest barrier today in the coaching business is where they have formed that opinion. Oh, I'm not naturally a salesperson. They create a belief system around it, and then they look for evidence to continually support it. And that is literally stopping them from having that thriving business and the lifestyle that they actually want. And some people can't see it. It's like, we can sometimes live in denial and resistance, but if that denial and resistance is actually causing you, the impact of it is giving you a consequence that you don't want, you kind of got to ask yourself, is it the best thing to do?
Yeah, correct.
That.
But now there is this huge issue, especially online, with, I know what you call the field of dreams, where people get sold all kinds of dreams and promises, but it just doesn't fit in the reality of things, and especially of business.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a bit about the field of dreams?
Yeah, well, when I came online and I listened to it sounded great. Everything was a solution. Everything felt like, oh, do this one thing and all of your clients will all find you. And they'll all, and literally it'll be just easy. You just sit there, build a website and your clients will come. Create an email list and your clients will come. Do this and your clients will come. And it felt, and I fell into it and I thought, all right, okay, it must be different online. And I did all, and then I realised very quickly, it doesn't work. It's a field of dreams mentality. Build it and they will come. And we all kind of get a shock when we do build it and they don't come. Okay. And I thankfully didn't spend too long in the field of dreams. It was probably just under a month before I went, hold on a second, you've spent 7 years creating campaigns that don't rely on field of dreams. How about you take that knowledge and expertise that's been really successful and take it online? And that's what I did. And the minute that I came out of the field of dreams and actually created a campaigns that sell, I created a 6-figure business for myself in 8 months without spending a dime in Facebook ads or having any complicated technology. And then I went on and I taught others how to do the same, and the same results were happening. Like Kelly, who went from, I need to get a job because I've got no clients, to, a sold out luxury retreat in Ibiza and £10,000 programs that are getting bought from her clients. She's a confidence coach. To Simona, who hadn't had a client and was working full time, but while desperately trying to set up her coaching business, and with 3 months had actually given up her full-time job because she now had a full-time coaching business working online and offline. So I think the biggest thing that I find is you have to deliver a full solution. You cannot promise one thing and deliver part of it. And that is really what's annoying me online, is like, it has to be a full solution. No, and it has to deliver results. I have this mantra that I only succeed when my clients succeed. That's it.
Yeah, well, but the thing is that a lot of people have, or they say they have this mantra, but not everyone is true to actually to it. And also the way people measure success online, or the way people advertise how their clients are successful online, leaves a lot to be desired too, because there are a lot of untrue stories going on. And that's a shame, because at the end of the day, like you said, the best is when it's a win-win situation and that your clients actually do have the results to show for.
Yeah. And what I think as well is, I also say Facebook or social media is a bit like TripAdvisor. Your clients have to be getting results and they have to be posting about those results, because that reflects well on you. It's okay you saying what you can do, but when your clients are actually backing up that they've got, that you've delivered on your promise, it makes it easier to get other clients. And so I do ask you, there's an awful lot of clients that I have, very loyal clients who post a lot about the results they're getting as they go along. And that helps me get other clients. And it's what I teach others to do as well, is because we sometimes forget all the success stories on our journey and the transformations our clients get. And we lose sight of the overall promise that we're making. And so, you know, I have this big thing, which is I don't really need to blow my own trumpet. I want my clients to do that for me because they're happy, they're valued, and they're getting the results that they paid me to get, because that's the deal.
Yeah, I love that. It's all very clear when you talk, Marie, which is really nice. You know, it's very authentic and straightforward. There are no, you know, strange things hidden anywhere. So that's really important, because that's also an image, I think, unfortunately a negative image things around sales have, is that there's some part it's going to be, you're going to be tricking someone into something, you know, this sort of like the door-to-door salesperson who's trying to sell you a vacuum cleaner or something. We have that image in France, and like the first reaction is suspicion, because what is this person going to sell me that I don't want to buy? And the trouble I find with a lot of things online that are being sold is, gurus play on people's emotions. They use techniques to actually get people to buy. But at the end of the day, the person has bought something they don't need or that doesn't give the results, which means everyone is losing, because then, as you say, they will think, for example, they will do something and it's the magic wand and it's going to happen and sales is going to come in and they don't have to do anything, which is not true. So it's giving a negative image for a lot of things online that are actually very good. So it's nice to have that positive, straightforward attitude as a balance, you know, to some of the rest that's going on. Now, you mentioned at the beginning, we talked when I did your introduction about the fact that people don't need to spend money on Facebook ads, and they don't need complicated technology. Can you share a little bit more about this? Because I think that's going to be really interesting for our audience, because that's usually things we don't necessarily want to do, but that we may run off thinking that's going to be the solution, and then we're going to spend lots of money on Facebook ads, and, you know, unfortunately not necessarily get back much.
I think that if you're going to invest in Facebook, I'm not saying don't invest in Facebook ads, but I think there is a time and a stage in business where that could be the right move, and it's generally when you've got quite a sizable budget, and that you can afford to trial and error in Facebook ads, because unfortunately that's what it takes. And if you're quite new or you've not done it before, you can waste an awful lot of money. And I did do that. I did try it, and I even got in a Facebook ad specialist, and it didn't really return that much to me. Okay, I'll do it again, but it's going to be a different stage and in a different way. Literally, what I mean about literally not a dime in Facebook ads to get 6 figures, no complicated technology. The reason why I'm saying that is because I have a client conversion system that I've been using offline, and it is all about interacting with your perfect prospect, your ideal client, how to reach out, when to do it, and working really smart. My whole thing is work smart, work simple, and work effectively. Okay, and the client conversion system consists of 3 areas. So there's kind of like three pillars to it. And one is creating a irresistible offer, you know, so that literally when you present your offers, they're done in the best way and you do it confidently. And there's a thing there as well that nobody else is doing, because most people say develop a signature system and offer that to people. No, because what you've offered is that will they work with you or not? It's a yes or no situation. Whereas I present a number up to 3 offers. And I do it in such a way is that people are actually comparing them, so therefore are making that decision to buy much easier. So irresistible offers is one thing. And the second thing as well is creating a system that gets you predictable leads. Without leads, you don't have anything to sell to, but it has to come from your perfect prospects. It has to be people that are ideal for you. So you need a system of doing that. And I have a very smart system of doing it, which is repurposed. So you don't have to sit there. You know, I could think of nothing worse than every day sitting trying to think about posts and create articles and blog and lives and all the rest of it, and freebies and oh my god, and groups and whatnot, all these things that you could spend 8 hours a day just trying to think of content that's going to make somebody come and reach out to you. No, I'm about simplicity. So yeah, you can do all of those things and you want to be very visible, but let's do one thing and use that one thing very strategically to influence everything else. So my clients do that. They do one thing really well and they can repurpose it and show them exactly how to do that step by step. Okay. And then the third thing is, what do I say? What do I say when I'm reaching out? How do I reach out? How do I interact? How do I engage? How do I get them on a call? What do I say when I'm on the call? What do they ask me a question and I don't know what to say to it? How do I start talking about money? All of these things I help people do. And in, some parts they get a script and then we customize it, and other people, like it's literally my client conversion system takes you from where to start to predictable, high-paying clients. It's that simple, without spending every single day, because most people don't have it. I certainly don't. Yeah. I want to be spending all my time coaching clients, doing what I love, not sitting trying to think up these posts that are going to be so amazing and amongst everybody else's posts that are going to make them turn around and go, I want to buy from you. Because that doesn't happen. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, actually, because I don't want to be sitting there all day trying to think.
So do you take clients regardless if they're a beginner in their business or they've already been running a business for a long time? Does it matter? Does what you do, does it apply?
It applies at any stage of business. It literally does. So, like, for example, if you're just brand new at business and you just want to get your first 5 high-paying clients, this is for you. If you have a tiny email list like I did, I didn't even have an email list when I used this system. And within 2 weeks, I had a paying client. And I still don't have a big email list. Genuinely, I don't. I think my email list is still under 200. But the engagement is unbelievable. The amount of people that are buying from me is really, really high. So I don't need a big list. So yeah, if you're starting from scratch and nobody knows who you are, this will work. If you've been coaching and you've had clients, but maybe you don't have the consistency, maybe you're not yet in that position where you have the predictability to have those high-paying clients, this is definitely for you. This is for getting you to a place of consistency and confidence in terms of the clients that are coming to you, to be having a profitable business. Yeah.
Right. Profitable business, folks, means that at the end of the day, there is money over and it's in your pocket. I think it's always good to just remind people that, because I've seen this online a lot, how much money do you want to make next year? How much money do you want to make this month? Hold on a second. Making the money doesn't mean it's the money in the pocket. You have to make a difference, and profit is the money that's left in your pocket. I just like to underline this because it makes a big difference. And what you are saying is that if you can have this predictability so that you do have a consistency in the clients that sign up with you for your services that you can work with, obviously this changes the whole thing around your business, because that's one of the difficult part of coaching businesses today is to have the predictability, not just have one client a year, but maybe you have 1 month or one a year, one a week or one a day, but it's to have a predictable, consistent income. And that is obviously really important, like you mentioned. So Marie, what is your, the solution when people come and work with you? What is it called? I think you mentioned it a few times. That I just wanted to hear it again. It's consistent.
It's the client conversion system, and it literally sets your sales on fire. Because so I talk a lot about sales on fire, but actually it was my clients saying your system is what sets your sales on fire, and sometimes you get so close to it. So it's the client conversion system. It does exactly what it says in the tin, and it does it without having to spend any money in Facebook ads or invest in complicated technology. And it is literally about getting predictable, high-paying clients. That's it. I couldn't make it any simpler. I want people to feel that their business is now supporting them. They are not supporting their business. I want, I know that I absolutely and 100% know that everybody can be amazing and irresistible to their ideal client if they employ this, like if they use this system, and they can still be completely aligned with their own values. They don't have to turn into this, unauthentic, is that even a word? But, that kind of pushy salesperson. Because actually what I see at the moment is people are trying not to be pushy, but then are actually offering disguised sales calls, which is a huge no-no. Know that free coaching, free this, free that. But when people come, you're trying to slot in.
Yeah, the famous free discovering call.
Yeah. And then people are showing up in calls and you're giving free coaching, and then they're like, oh, cheers, thanks. And then you're trying to talk about working with you, and then it starts all feeling awkward. And
awkward, yeah.
And that should never, ever, ever, ever happen. When you have a conversation about working together, it should be upfront and transparent. And every single one of my clients learns how to do that with ease. Just to make that offer to have a conversation and not worry about it. And that is I think that has been one of the biggest game changers for my clients. It's like, I didn't know how to do that, and now I do. And it just is like, oh my God, it's like literally changed my world. I can now turn any conversation into an invite to work together. And it's amazing.
I love that. Yeah, you certainly have a very disruptive ways of teaching things, and it's wonderful. I like disruptive because it's so necessary. So Marie, if someone in the audience wants to know more about you, reach out, talk to you, and know more about what you can do for them, how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, there's a number I'm dead easy to say yes to. So there's Marie Rodgers with a D .com. You can come and look on the website. You can literally interact with me over Facebook. I've got a Facebook group, Sales on Fire community. My business page, Marie Rodgers. I've kept it really, really simple. I'm on LinkedIn, and there's quite a lot. I mean, I can send stuff over as well, but I would say is you look for Marie Rodgers, Rodgers, you're going to find me, and I'm happy to speak to anybody, or just send off some of the stuff that I've got as well, because I do regular lives where I try and give as much advice and quick tips as I possibly can, and I've got quite a lot of resources as well that offer real huge value to anybody that's maybe struggling with sales as well, and kind of want to get a little bit of momentum, or to get just to succeed that little bit faster. So yeah, and there should be a link as well. We'll put a link to actually interact with me, maybe somewhere at the end of this interview.
Yeah, we will. I will be putting links in the show notes on where and how to reach out for you. No problem. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Marie, for being with us today. And and it was such a pleasure. And to the audience, until next time, be extraordinary. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.